We're going to revisit the topic of Disney Cruise Line. This time we're going to talk about what you need to know before going on a Disney cruise. This is episode 21. I'm Sariah.
I'm Aurora.
And together we're just your average Disney travelers. So we love Disney Cruise Line, and
Yes.
There's lots of fun things to know. This is a totally different type of vacation, obviously, than going to the parks or really anywhere on land. And some of these things are going to apply to whether or not it's a Disney cruise versus another cruise line. But for the most part, we're really only familiar with Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are specific to Disney Cruise Line. So first, before we even get into anything else, my phone made a noise. We're going to turn that volume off. Before we get into anything else, we're going to have Rory, why don't you share with us some of the terms that we should know before you cruise? This is going to be across the board, whatever, if you're cruising at all with anyone, these are terms you want to know.
Yeah. So there's aft, which is the direction referring to the back of the ship. The stern, which is the back of the ship. Forward, which is like the front, like that direction.
To the front of the ship.
Yeah. And then there's bow, which is the front of the ship.
The bow, okay.
Yeah. Midship, which
obviously.
Yeah, it's the middle of the ship. Port, which is the left side. Starboard, which is the right side.
And I remember those two, and that's when you're facing forward. So if you're on the ship facing the front of the ship, the bow, then to your left is port and to your right is starboard sides. And I remember it, and I don't know why, but for me, the way I remember is port has 4 letters and so does left. So port is on the left because they have the same number of letters in the word. I don't know if that really makes sense to anyone else.
Do you board on the right side?
Let me think now. When we're getting on, I think you might be right.
Because I think
No. Because we usually back out.
So then you get on
we usually board on the port side, which would make sense because it's also the port side. Yeah. It's the side that
Yeah. And then there's embark, which is to get on the ship.
Yeah, so you'll hear a lot embarkation day. That's the day you board.
Yeah. And then disembark is to get off the ship.
Right.
And then a knot is like the ship speed. So 1 knot equals like 1.15 miles per hour.
Cool. All right. Good information to know.
It actually is.
Like that. It is helpful.
I didn't know how much a knot was.
I know, and I always forget, but it's fun to know because sometimes you can see how fast your ship is going, and so you can see, then you can put it into terms that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things you're going to want to do, and this is one that does, again, cross over any cruise. Any cruise you're going to go on, you really want to have a passport. Now, there are some who will say you don't need one if you're sailing, leaving from a U.S. port and coming back to a U.S. port. And that is true technically. If you are, say, taking a cruise out of Port Canaveral, and even though you'll have ports that you visit, but the end comes back to Port Canaveral, and that's all in Florida, so that's U.S., then technically you can get away with just taking your birth certificate and government issued ID, technically. But first of all, you'll need that for every person in your family, including infants. But second of all, if you were to run into any troubles, say you have a medical emergency and you're not able to you have to be taken off to land somewhere that's not in the United States, maybe you're in the Bahamas or the Caribbean or Mexico or something, and say you have some sort of condition that keeps you from rejoining the cruise, how are you going to get home? You need your passport. So even though technically, if all else went perfectly, you wouldn't need a passport for those types of cruises, just get the passport. Get a passport for every individual in your family, so that way you don't have to worry in an event of an emergency like that. And then if you're also, keep in mind, like the Alaskan cruises for Disney have been going out of Vancouver, British Columbia and Canada. So those obviously, again, you would need a passport no matter what. And any others that are like, sometimes they have cruises that will, the European cruises, or even they'll leave from Florida maybe, but then they end in San Juan or, somewhere not in the country. So if it's a one way that does, and one of those ports, beginning or end, is not United States, you absolutely need your passport for those two. But I say have the passport no matter what.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the investment. You just want to have it. And along the same lines, get trip insurance. One way or another, you can get it through Disney Cruise Line. They do offer, it's not really them that's doing it, but they have a company, an insurance company that they use, and you can add it as part of your package and have it all included as one. Or there are lots of other, any insurance company, really, you can look up your car insurance company, ask what the trip insurance would be from them. They'll need information about what trip it is and all that, but then they'll give you a quote. One way or another, get trip insurance. And a lot of people, again, will say, well, I've got good medical insurance and I'm sure I won't need it, or we're going to go on this trip no matter what. And then something happens unexpectedly that makes it so you physically can't do it. We have I had a really quick one story in the travel agency I used to work for. Another agent had a situation where they had a client who they didn't get the cruise insurance because they knew they were going to go no matter what. And the week of their cruise, they had saved. This is a family that can't afford to do this on a regular basis. They had really saved. It had been a sacrifice for them. The week of the cruise, their son broke his leg, and it was severe enough that he needed surgery, and he couldn't go on the cruise. They had to take care of this medical emergency, and they didn't have insurance, and they lost every penny. They didn't get to go on their cruise, and they didn't get their money back. And they knew that it was their fault for not getting insurance. And they said, tell everyone our story, because no one should go through that. Now they have to start over, saving up probably for years again, this time getting the trip insurance to finally be able to go on their cruise that they had already paid for once before. And that's just the way it is. So get trip insurance just in case. Make sure you're covered. That's my 2 cents. Okay.
Yeah.
Rory, what's next?
Arrive the day the boat leaves.
Day before. Did you say the day of?
Oh, sorry, the day before. I can't
Don't
read.
arrive the day of. Arrive the day before. And the reason why, do you know?
Because if there's any delays or problems
with your travel getting there,
you might miss it.
Yeah. Say your flight's delayed, or you run into road trouble if you're driving or something. Any number of things could come up that could keep you from getting on that ship. Get there the day before, and then any delays, hopefully you've got enough of a cushion that even if you're getting there at the last minute, you're still getting there. But if you already were getting there the day of, you have a real strong chance of missing that ship. Just don't risk it. Add it into your budget. Get there the day before, get a hotel near the port, and just plan for that. It'll make it a lot more relaxing too. You won't be stressed and rushing.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're boarding the cruise, they've just unloaded all of their previous passengers. So they're going through every single room, cleaning it, refreshing everything. And so as you're boarding, the rooms might not be ready yet. So it's really important to bring a day bag that has whatever you're going to need for the first few hours. Certainly medications that you may need, obviously your boarding information that you're going to need, but also maybe a change of clothes, like a bathing suit, camera, anything you're going to want in the first 3, 4, 5 hours or so, because it could take that long before, not just you get to your room. The rooms are usually ready anytime, usually after like 1:30ish. But the luggage won't get there till after that. And sometimes not even close to dinner, usually before dinner, because they want you in we'll get to this later, but they want you to have your dinner attire, but you may not have access to your luggage very soon after getting on, especially if you're one of the early boarders. So just plan a day bag that you can carry with you that has whatever items you really need. Be aware of that. All right.
So when you do get on the ship, there are things that are open. The kids clubs are open, and the parents can go in as well and see what it's like and stuff.
It's a really good time to do that. They do have open houses that night and throughout the week occasionally, but at the very start is really good. That way you know right from the get-go where your kids are, what you're comfortable with and everything. But all of them are open too. So even if you're wanting to see the clubs that your kids aren't your ages, they don't match up to, you can still go look at those too. They're all open for everyone to check out.
Yeah. And the spas are open.
Yeah.
The restaurants are open.
Yeah. So go on hungry because the buffet is open. And I actually recommend going to the buffet. We've sometimes made the mistake of going and doing a sit down lunch. Those take a long time. They're really long. So if you want to have time to just enjoy the ship, don't do a sit down lunch at one of the restaurants that is just providing a la carte or whatever you want, not buffet. Go to the buffet. The buffet is great. Get to know it, get to love it, because you're going to be there a lot this week or whatever, however many days you're on your cruise.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would recommend if you really want to make use of your time, because the pools are open, like I said, so you can go and change into your suits. You have to find one of the public restrooms. There aren't a whole lot of public restrooms on a cruise ship because everyone's got their own private restroom in their cabin, but you won't have access to that.
By stairs.
Yeah, usually near stairs you'll find it. And so they are there. They're very clean. They're very nice, but they're small. Like there's usually only 2 or 3 stalls. It's not like you have a whole row like you'd see at Disneyland or Disney World where you've got 20 stalls. Nothing like that. Just a couple. But still, if you're just going in quick to change, you can do that and enjoy the ship. All right, is that my turn? Another thing you want to do at this time is make sure, if you haven't done already, which you should have, but make sure you have the Disney Navigator app downloaded. That's the Disney Cruise Line app. Make sure you have that downloaded. And then before the ship pulls out, because after everyone's on board, they're going to do a safety drill, which everyone is required to participate in. And after everyone has participated in that drill, then they will start the sail away party or sail away party right now.
Get it right, Mom.
I know. And then they'll pull away from the dock. At that point, you need to make sure you're in airplane mode. While you're still at the port, you're going to have, your cell coverage and everything. But as soon as you're pulling away, make sure you've had your airplane mode turned on, but leave your Wi-Fi on so that your Wi-Fi allows you to use that app. And that app we've talked about before, you actually have access to text other members of your group that have a smartphone. And so that's a really great feature. You can keep communicating with them.
Can you also text like other people?
You can. It'll generate. It'll give you a number. So if you meet people, friends, or people you're having dinner with, or anyone you're doing excursions with, and you want to keep in touch, then you can exchange those numbers. It's not your phone number. It's a number that's in regards to your sail, your room, and everything. But that will allow you to communicate with them too, which is quite handy.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Rory, what's next?
That's you.
Oh, I'm next still. Okay, another thing that you are allowed to do when boarding a Disney Cruise Line, and again, this is only Disney Cruise Line. I don't know that other cruise ships allow this, but you can take on some alcohol if you'd like. Adults 21 and older can bring up to 2 bottles each of wine or champagne.
That's a lot.
It is. Or up to 6-pack of beer. And they have to be carried on. You cannot put this in your checked bag. It has to be in a carry-on bag that you're taking onto the ship when you're boarding. So you're gonna have to be carrying it around for those 3-4 hours or so until you get, probably 2 or 3 hours until you get into your room. But just be aware you can do that if you'd like. And along that line, some people, you can bring bottled water on. But Rory, what's the next thing we're gonna talk about? You may not need to.
Yeah, there are drink stations throughout on the deck.
Pool deck.
Yeah, the pool deck of the ship.
It's free.
Yes.
Free beverages.
Yes, and it has stuff like
filtered water.
Yeah, and soda and stuff to make
milk.
Coffee. Yeah,
hot water.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, so it'll have hot water with packets for tea, coffee, hot chocolate. Actually, I think there's actually coffee makers up there. I'm not sure, but I believe there are. We don't drink coffee, so I've never really paid close attention, but I'm pretty sure it's coffee pre-made, but then they have the hot water for tea or hot cocoa. But then they also have juices, drinks, milks, all sorts of beverages. And so bring a refillable water cup, and also a refillable, if you're going to do hot drinks, and a refillable insulated mug for your coffee or hot cocoa. That will definitely be beneficial to you. And that's available. Along with, now, not beverages, but what you can bring on board. You cannot bring pre-cooked or perishable foods. You can bring pre-packaged snacks if you want. I would really argue you don't necessarily need to, unless during shows you really like to have snacks, because the near the theaters, whether it's a movie theater or the stage, they do have concession stands, but those you do pay extra for.
Yeah.
So they'll have candies and popcorns and even sodas there. But again, you don't need to. That's extra. If you want a soda, go get it on the pool deck and carry it in. You can get a cookie, you can get an ice cream, you can get something like that and carry it in if you want. Or if you have your snacks that you brought on board, like bags of candy, or they just have to be prepackaged, but not just by you. They have to be factory prepackaged. So something you bought at a store or wherever that was sealed professionally, then you can take that on and you can take it into the shows.
Yes.
Along with that.
So they have a movie theater.
Sometimes two.
Yeah. And they will be showing movies throughout the cruise. And sometimes if there's a movie that's like a Disney movie that's coming out during the trip, they'll let you be able to watch it for free.
Yeah, it's so cool. So you can see new releases. I think was it Black Panther?
Yeah, it was Black Panther.
That was
my sister and my dad went and watched it. It was really late at night too.
Well, they have it at different times. They went late because we were busy doing other things, and they wanted to see it. They didn't get done till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and that's why I didn't go, because it was so late. I was like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But it's really cool because that is at no additional cost. You've already paid for the cruise, so I'm not going to say it's free. The cruise was a lot more than a movie ticket. But since you're on the cruise, if something's coming out in the theaters that's affiliated with Disney, like Disney, Pixar, Marvel, all of those, Star Wars, then they will show them on the cruise ship the same day it opens, and that's pretty cool.
I think when we all went, the Lion King, or at least just me, you and Dad, the new Lion King. When was that?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if it came out during that week, but we did watch that. I remember once in a kids club, kind of the edge. One night we all just came in our pajamas and we watched the live action Aladdin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just us. Cool. They had snacks. And
that the kids club provided.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And we all just sort of just chilled out and watched the movie.
That's fun. That's cool. They have fun events like that at the kids club, which we're going to get to pretty soon, but not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned that the snacks and things that they have that are additional costs just at those concession stands. Be aware that while there is that beverage station on the pool deck, and while obviously you can have drinks along with your meal and non-alcoholic drink, well, not even just the sodas and your typical regular normal drinks are included in your meals. You should always plan to pay for alcoholic beverages or specialty drinks. So we like to get the non-alcoholic specialty drink. We don't drink alcohol, but we like to have the Bora Shake's one of our favorites.
Yes, it's one of the first ones that we had, and
it's definitely
favorite.
Lasted as one of our favorites. But anyhow, so those are going to be an additional cost. But in addition to that, if you go to the lounge or the bars or the cafe, those beverages also, even if it's a soda, are going to be, there will be a charge. So just be aware of that. Those charges do include the tip, so you don't have to tip more on top of that. You can if you want, but that would be above what is already being included for the tip. But just be aware of those things. And then as we get into meals, I guess we're going to talk about rotational dining later. I might bump that up here soon, but you want to, there is a dress code, but there's not a dress code. You're encouraged to have cruise attire. Any cruise, you're kind of encouraged to dress nice for dinner. Doesn't have to be fancy. But what they're saying is they don't want the cutoff jeans and the tank tops and the bathing suits. In fact, I don't know that they'll let you come in with a bathing suit. They might let you come in with the cutoff jeans. I'm not really sure.
Wait, by cutoff jeans, does that mean like
frayed cutoff jeans? They'll let you. Yeah, your cruise attire and dinner attire is a little bit nicer than your regular everyday wear, but it's Disney Cruise Line. They are really nice. They're not going to kick you out. There's a lot of people who are very casual on these cruises. However, please still keep in mind and dress nice. Make sure you're not wearing what you'd wear out, at the beach or something.
Yeah.
They actually, typical dining cruise casual would be men. Ideally, men would have maybe a collared shirt, maybe a polo shirt, and long pants. Women might wear a skirt, dress, pants, maybe dressy capris, something along those lines.
Jeans.
Many do dine. I will sometimes wear jeans. I wear jeans a lot. So I might be wearing jeans, but I'll usually wear a nice blouse with it.
I either have sweatpants, jeans, or I guess now I have leggings, so I can wear those now.
A lot of people will still wear just t-shirts or shorts. That's totally fine. Just no swimwear and tank tops.
Yeah.
Now, if you're dining at one of the other restaurants, the nicer restaurants, Palo or Remy, they actually do have a dress code, and you won't be able to dine if you're not wearing at least the minimum of what they require. So men must wear a dress shirt, and Remy would require a jacket as well, a suit jacket or a dinner jacket. Women,
Fancy.
women should wear semi-formal to formal wear, somewhere in that range. And you can choose where you're comfortable, but it should be nice, no jeans. On the 7-night cruises, oh, you know what? Do you want to? Oh yeah, I'll cover this and then we'll get to the others. But 7-night cruises, they typically will have one formal night, in which case, if you choose to participate, a lot of people do, you can get nice and dressy with that. You will see everything from people who aren't dressing up at all and they're just wearing what they wore the same, would have worn any other night, to people in tuxedos and beautiful dresses. So that's optional, but you'll see it all of us, and it's on the navigator, Disney in the app. So if you are paying attention, you'll know when that is. Otherwise, all of a sudden you'll look around and half the people in the restaurant will be super dressy, and you'll be like, well, did I miss the memo? Yeah, you did. So I'm telling you now, one night out of a 7-night cruise will be formal.
Yeah, and then there's like a semi-formal.
Yes. So and also along that 7-night cruise, there will be a semi-formal, so not quite as dressy, but still nicer dress. And it's just because people enjoy having that excuse to dress up. So that's what it's there for. It's there they provide that. And they usually will have some fun, extra nice backdrops for the photos and things like that you can do. And so it's just kind of fun to get all fancy and everything. On shorter cruises, like the 4 and 5-night cruises, there's usually a dressy night, which is kind of like your semi-formal night, but they don't necessarily have a formal night. And then the really short cruises don't usually.
Yeah, we didn't have one on our 3-day or 3-night.
Yeah.
However long it was.
Yeah. So
2-night.
Either one. We've done both of those. It was
2-night because it was a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, but we also did a 3-night cruise to the Bahamas.
Oh, that was 3-night.
Yeah. So anyways, along with that, how about the themed nights? You want to talk to us about those?
Yeah. As you can guess, they're themed. There's like Pirates, which is a favorite.
Pirates in the Caribbean nights are usually, well, they're almost all the cruises. Always in the Caribbean, always on the Bahama cruises, always like in the Mexican Riviera cruises, not ever in Alaska.
Yeah, we had a Frozen night instead.
Yeah, so that was our themed night, was a Frozen night.
Yeah, had a flash mob.
Yep, there was a flash mob and you were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so on these themed nights, what kind of things do they do?
They have basically a party. You dress up.
You can. You don't have to.
Yeah, you can. You don't have to.
A lot of times your attendant, your stateroom attendant will leave something.
Bandanas.
Yeah, for pirate night, they'll leave bandanas and those gold chocolate coins. And then those on Frozen night, they left light up.
They didn't leave those for us.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. I would have worn one if I got one.
The snowflake?
Yeah, we never got one. At least I didn't.
Oh, I could have sworn we did. Now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure we did, but we'll have to go and look at our pictures and see if anyone was wearing one. Maybe they didn't.
I was like really confused because like I thought. Like,
I don't know. Anyways,
I don't remember ever seeing one.
So they will often leave little things for the
they
theme.
usually.
They will also theme the dinner a lot of times to that theme, which is fun. It's usually just in the evening. It doesn't necessarily take the whole day. However, there's sometimes other things. Like what other themes do they have sometimes?
Marvel.
Yep. Sometimes they'll have a Marvel Day at Sea,
which I really want to experience.
Yep. They also have Star Wars Days at Sea.
Oh, I also want to experience it.
You want to experience all of it. During the holidays, they'll have
Halloween.
Yep. They'll have a Halloween on the high seas, which they'll pick one night to be the Halloween party.
You can go trick-or-treating with the kids.
And those activities are usually in the afternoon as well.
Yeah.
So they'll have all of that. And then they also have for the Christmas, we have not done a maritime Christmas cruise yet. So I don't know for sure if they have a party for that. I don't know. Oh, we're getting visited by the cat again. So not sure if they have a party for that, but they do have a themed cruise for that. But
Yeah.
anyways, for on the theme nights, especially pirates, that is the one that most people will dress up for. Again, you'll get everybody from just a hint that it might be almost pirate related, and then to the people who are full looking like Jack Sparrow. You'll get the whole range. So whatever you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Have
we
fun.
already got our costumes ready for our cruise that's going to be in about a little less than a year.
Well, it's this year, so much less than a year.
Well,
If it doesn't get canceled, it's in October. So it's in about 6 months, almost just like a week or so away from that. A couple weeks away from that. Yeah.
I thought it was, I don't know why, but I just felt like it was.
Well, it
Like,
might end
I
up
knew it was
being
in the fall,
more
but
like
it
a
didn't
year
feel like-
because
it didn't feel like half a year. Never mind.
chances are this is going to get canceled. So it probably will be much longer before we actually are on. Okay, so we're talking clothing and things like that. Just so you're aware, there are laundry rooms on the
Yep.
ship, so you can do laundry if you want. I don't want. So I don't. If I'm on vacation, I don't want to have to be doing laundry, but you can if you want or need to. They also have dry cleaning services. And one of the tips that I would say is if you just need something pressed, first of all, they do have like, you can iron your stuff yourself, but you can also use the dry cleaning service to just have it pressed and not cleaned, and then it's only half the price. And we have done that when formal night is right when you're getting on, like you're only going to have one day. It's like the next day or something. I can't remember if it must have been the next day. And sometimes dry cleaning can take a day or more, depending on how much and stuff. But we were able to give it to our stateroom attendant and say, we really need this for tomorrow night. Can you press these? Because they had just traveled, the clothing had just traveled with us. And so we were able to get those pressed and have them in time for dinner the next night. And that was great.
Yeah.
And it was really actually very affordable. It really wasn't very expensive. We don't use this for every outfit. It was just for those special occasion ones so that I didn't accidentally like burn it with iron or whatever, ruin things that weren't supposed to, things that should have been steamed or whatever. So anyways, yeah, so that is available, though. You can do your own laundry if you need to, especially if you have kids. That might be helpful to know, and especially after beach days and things like that. Speaking of kids,
yes, we've talked about this before. There's the kids club, the clubs, and so just to quickly go over it again, they basically have about four clubs. Then there's also a nursery, which I don't know much about.
Okay.
But they have 4 clubs. 2 of them so like they have an Oceaneers club and an Oceaneers lab. I don't know the age.
3 to 12.
Yeah, for both of them. So
3 as long as you're potty trained.
Yeah.
To 12.
Yeah.
We should hope the 12-year-olds are potty trained.
Yeah. Oceaneers Club is more geared towards the younger kids, and then the lab is geared towards the older ones.
It's just the activities. The activities are more playtime.
And the atmosphere.
Yeah, more little kitty and playtime and slides and just different things like that for the club. But the lab would have games that are more maybe either techie or video games or sciencey or things like that.
So yeah, but any ages can go to either one. Yep. Then there's the Edge, which is like what, 11 to 13.
I think 14? 11 to 14.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So basically, it's that age range, and then there's Vibe, which is like 15 to 18.
I think it's also 14 until through 17. 18-year-olds cannot go.
Oh yeah, because they're technically adults. Yeah.
But those are, again, activities towards those ages. We've talked a little bit about before. We will go into more detail about them later, but those are available. But also the nurseries. We didn't talk about this before. If you have an infant or a toddler that isn't yet 3 or is not potty trained, even if they are 3, they do have nurseries available. The nurseries are not included in the price. So if you're going to use the nursery, there is a fee. So you would want to prepare for that. I believe it's per kid, but I believe if you have more than one kid, then the additional kids are less. I don't remember the details. Honestly, I've never used it, but you can look into that. But that is a way to have, maybe if there's one night you really want to have a romantic evening, just you and your spouse, or you just want a kid-free night for just part, or even afternoon or whatever for part of the trip, you can do that and use that service. I think they may even have in-room sitters that would be even a little bit more pricey, but I don't quote me on that. I don't remember. I should have looked that up. But anyways, there are a variety of kids services that will entertain your kids, keep them safe so that you can go and do other things if you want. Because you know what? We all have different interests. The kids are going to get bored with some of the stuff that we want to do. And so it's nice
you guys are boring.
We're old and boring. That's okay. I don't mind being boring. Okay. So along the lines with kids, another thing we haven't mentioned yet before is that they do have like pack and plays and diaper genies even. So if you have a young child that's needing one of those items, you can have that in your room. If they're not there already, you can request and it'll be brought to your room. They also have a service that it's not provided by Disney, but they work together and you can use it on the Disney Cruise Line, and it's called the Babies Travel Light Service. And this is where you could have formula or diapers and wipes and things like that delivered to your stateroom. Disney, I believe, has a link that you can use to get to their website, but if you order straight directly through the website without using the link, I think it's a little bit less expensive. So just be aware of that. Okay, what's next on our list?
Fish extenders. So we've talked about this before.
We're not going to go into huge details, but it's basically an exchange.
Yeah, it's an exchange group that's basically made up by the
travelers, by other cruisers.
The actual Disney does not organize this. It's all organized by the travelers. But it's fun.
Exchange. Yeah, and it's voluntary. You arrange it beforehand. You do that through the Facebook page. But so if you're going on a Disney cruise, definitely go and look up on Facebook that cruise. All you have to do is search the name of the dates that you're traveling, be specific. So whatever the dates are, then the cruise ship, so Disney Wonder, Disney Magic, whatever it is. And you probably just need that. You probably don't even need to put the destination, but it'll pop up a cruise page somebody has created, because as soon as the cruise dates come out, people are booked and starting those pages. So pretty much guaranteed it's going to be created already. Join that page and they will have the information for that cruises exchange programs, the fish extenders. So those are really fun. We've talked about it before. We will talk about it later, but just be aware, if you're going on a Disney cruise, you want to be aware that fish extenders are available. It's a fun part of a cruise if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shutters is the photography group that does all the pictures. This is not Disney owned. And so it's important to know that it's very different than the photography that you'll see in the parks, PhotoPass. It's priced very differently. It's a lot more expensive. But if you pre-purchase a package, you can get up to 15% off of that package. They have a variety of different packages. You can prepay for say 10 pictures. You're not going to know what they are until you see them when you're there, and then you pick which 10 you want. Or you can do unlimited pictures or 20 pictures. There's a variety of ranges of different kind of packages. So when you're booked, go check it out. Pre-purchase if you're sure you're wanting pictures. If you're not sure, you can wait and purchase them on board, but there's no more discount. So just be aware of that. Those are, they're fun. They're nice. I have to be honest, we've done it almost every time, but we're starting to get to the point where we probably won't do it every cruise because they are so expensive.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then there's rotational dining. Basically every night the restaurant you're going to have dinner at rotates between the main ones. So then it's not the same thing every night. And then there's a 24-hour room service, which is mostly free. Almost all of it's free, right?
Yeah. And again with the sodas not being included. So you'll want to go to the pool deck to get your soda, but then you can order your burger or sandwich or whatever, Mickey bar, cookies, milk is fine. Things like that are free. So just make sure you pay attention to the room service list. And back to that rotational dining, there are 3 dining rooms that are included in this rotational dining. And so you'll rotate between those 3 and your servers rotate with you. You just keep sitting at the same table number each night that you go to, and those servers come with you, and it's really fun. Great way to have different dining experiences, but still get the convenience of having the same wait staff, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I just realized how bad the lighting is because the sun is hitting us, and I didn't notice that before. It's probably been like this half the thing. So if you're watching if you're watching on YouTube, I'm getting really warm because the sun is hitting me. But anyways,
your arm is just being showered in light.
It is. Oh my goodness. That's
and it
awful.
Almost looks like it's reflecting off onto the ceiling, like it's your arm and not the actual window.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. We're getting really long here. One more thing. thing, last one. Another thing that's really great to know before you go on, so you can prepare for this, is that you can book your next cruise while you're on the Disney cruise ship. And if you do that, there are benefits to it. You, depending on what kind of cruise you're booking next, the benefits will vary. But in general, you'll see a discount. Usually it's like a 10% discount on the cruise, which is pretty good because, as we know, Disney Cruise Line is not cheap. So that's nice. Also, you can often get an onboard credit, which basically is just there in your account when you get there. You can use it on merchandise. You can use it on some specialty meals or beverages. You can use it for your excursions, photos, whatever you want to use it to pay for, it's there in your account. But also you usually only have to pay half of the deposit, so you don't have to come up with as much. Now, if you don't know what cruise you want to book next, you can actually book what they call a placeholder cruise. So you just pay, I think it's $250, and use that as your deposit. And then you get those benefits reserved for you. And as long as you book a cruise that's going to take place within 2 years of that date, then they will apply all of those benefits to that cruise. And then you just pay whatever the difference is for the deposit. They'll credit that $250 toward it. And so it's excellent. If you end up not taking a cruise, all you have to do is cancel it before that 2-year mark, and you get all $250 back, or the deposit if you booked a cruise and you cancel, as long as you cancel it before. If you've booked a cruise, you have to cancel before the pay in full date. But if you're booking a placeholder, you just have to cancel before that 2-year mark. And so it's an excellent way to save money on your next cruise. And once you're on that ship, you're going to want to be back on that ship many, many times over. So be prepared. I believe you can actually do this for two cruises. So be prepared to book a couple of placeholders. You might want to. And if you don't, then fine, you've got little money to save on, use on souvenirs or something, but you're probably going to want to book a placeholder.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. So that's Disney Cruise Line, things you should know. Man, when we make up our list, I try to be thorough, but the truth is I always afterwards go, oh, I should have mentioned that. So I probably have forgotten something, but if I have, tell us, leave it in the comments and let us know. Oh, wave phones. We didn't. When was the wave phones? Really quick, like wave phones.
They come in the room. There's usually about 2, though you can request more. They are connected to each other. So basically they, if you guys, like your group gets separated, you can use them to communicate instead of the phone.
This is especially helpful if you have anyone in your party that does not have a smartphone.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have the app.
I was my first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had these before they had the app. Now that they have the app, they're not as needed. But like I said, if you've got anyone that doesn't have a smartphone, this is how they can keep in touch.
Okay.
So, all right. Now we're done. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging in there. This is a long one. Thanks for listening. We hope that you're looking forward to cruising with Disney soon. We are really hoping to, and it'll be a great day when that gets going again. But that's it for now. We'll see you next week.
See you.